So
Interesting.
I am going to, and I told Seth this pre-show, I am going to give you what I would say is the most positive outlook potentially as to what went down today at around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I will tell you why, even if you give the most positive outlook of what happened, it is still bad. So today, around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Jeff Passan tweets out, I don't have the exact tweet in front of me, something along the lines of, the Tigers and the Dodgers have had a trade between one another for Eduardo Rodriguez, which was nixed by Rodriguez due to his no trade clause, as the Dodgers were one of the 10 or so teams that he had on that.
Mm-hmm.
So here is the potentially positive way to spin this. If you're the right GM, you have the right system, you cannot trade someone, you can trade someone. It won't matter because you'll be able to develop prospects. You'll be able to hit on draft picks. And any trade that you do make, you will win.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of it, and Zach McKinstry just hit a double, so that's good. On the other side of it, if you would have traded Rodriguez, you could have gotten yourself 2 to 3, maybe 4 prospects from whoever you traded with.
Correct.
And again, if you can develop, that would be even more. The best positive outcome is that Erod decides to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he decides to stay, which I still don't think he will, you just have one pitcher, one solid pitcher who's having a career year, but I don't think he's going to continue to pitch the way he has this year, because you look at his career numbers. And pitchers don't typically get better when they get older unless their name is Justin Verlander or Max Scherzer or Randy Johnson, whom at this point we're talking about, some of the top pitchers of all time.
Yes.
And I'm going through a lot here. Okay. It's been about an hour since I guess the not news broke. And I just have to ask, Scott Harris, did you not read the contract? Now, I don't read the contract. I'm not the general manager. I'm not the president of baseball. I don't read these contracts. I didn't know he had a no-trade clause. I found that out today. Apparently, he has a no-trade clause.
Yeah.
And I have never seen a deal be made, end of the deadline, we got it ready. Hey, Rob, we traded you wait, actually.
Never mind.
I don't want to go play for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I'm not blaming Erod. I don't want to. All these people who are. I mean, as it stands right now, the information we have, there's no reason to blame Eduardo Rodriguez.
Correct.
Because he had it in his contract. He's the one who made the contract. He signed. It's not his fault that the general manager didn't know, or even that the Dodgers, who presumably might have known.
Yep.
They would assume, oh, okay, maybe they got he said he didn't want to go to the West Coast, but he's gonna make an exception for the Dodgers because I don't know, he wants to.
Dodgers.
But that's not what happened, right?
No.
Deal was set, and sorry, we didn't actually resolve this whole situation with the no trade clause.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is one of those mistakes that, hate to say it, probably sets you back about a year, because 3 prospects, if 1 or 2 of them hits, that's another player in your lineup or in your starting 5 that is going to make an impact on your team once they're ready. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's essentially as if you basically just got 3 more picks in your draft, right? In baseball, depth is everything. Your Padres know it. Depth is everything. If you don't have depth, your team is going to fall apart as soon as injuries start coming in. And you're like, wait, we don't have anybody to play first base. We got to go sign, Joe Schmo off the street, and he's gonna have and this was the moment. I don't know if this is like some sort of kryptonite on Detroit, but with the exception of, I guess, Brad Holmes, every single general manager in this city, and I guess Steve Yzerman, he usually does a pretty good job at trade deadlines. Every single GM, they just the trade deadline comes, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to make a trade. I can make a trade in the offseason. Like, we know Scott Harris can make trades. He traded Joe Jimenez to the Braves. He traded Gregory Soto to the Phillies. He can make trades. He can get prospects. But it's like, what happened at this deadline? Did he, like, the other thing we were hearing was there were reports that he was, like, his asking price was too high. Now, my thing, I don't really care if your asking price is too high. If your asking price is high, that means that you are not just going to get peanuts. Like,
Correct.
I'm not saying you don't set the asking price reasonably. Like, obviously, if you're like, I will only take your number one prospect, then yeah, you're kind of an idiot.
A little ridiculous.
I like, you want a quality player when you make a trade, especially when you're selling and your team is going to be actively worse, right? It makes more sense. I'm not going to get on somebody because, they're asking for actual value in a trade. But I'm going to be on your ass if it's like if your value assessment is like unreasonable to the point where teams are like, oh, okay, well, you don't want to trade with us. We'll just go trade with the Red Sox, or we'll go trade with the Orioles, or we'll go trade with the Diamondbacks. Like, you can't. And I'm like going back and forth on the I guess, more side towards favoring the front office and then the side favoring the fans. Like, the fans, you've also got to realize it's not MLB The Show. It's not Madden. You can't just pick and choose which guy I want out of somebody's farm system and run the trades, simulator and see if they pass.
Yeah.
Like, but it's also not that. Like, it's not totally unreal. Like, trades happen all the time. Teams get, like, I mean, we saw it. There was all these trades that were coming in, especially in the final hour. Like, and it just doesn't, like, how you not being able to make a deal when you had all of these suitors is on you. Like, especially if you cannot guarantee to me that this player is not just going to walk away for essentially nothing and go play for another team, and like, whether or not we would have kept him or not, or whatever, like, you could have gotten something. It is the difference between, throwing a game away that you're never going to play or going into GameStop and getting $5 for it. Like, sure, maybe the $5 is not worth, I don't know, Mario Party 4, but, like, you at least are your $5. Like, you could, I don't know, like, it doesn't, the $5 is not, like, not to get, like, you trade something, even if it's not equal value. I'm not saying make a trade just to make a trade, because that's stupid. Al Avila would do that crap all the time. But this was like, you had the deal. You were talking to teams. You had suitors. You had teams offering you something. They probably weren't offering you nothing. And
I would hope not for you, Rod.
I find it very hard to believe that the Orioles offer was so horrible that you couldn't even
figure that
fancy it. Like, you couldn't be like, okay, an hour, like, our trade gets next. All right, I'm going to go call Baltimore and say, actually, I will take your deal. But the problem was Baltimore said, okay, you don't want to take our deal. We're just going to go get, what's his name? Jack Rojas or whatever. I don't remember the guy's name. Whoever they got some pitcher. Yep. Probably because they were like, oh, well, Tigers don't want to deal with us. Well, then we'll just go deal with some other team.
We got other buyers. Simple as that.
And it's just not.
Yeah.
I'm beside myself because I was under the impression that Scott Harris would make something of a move. Like, the other thing that is bothering me about it is there were stories and reports, I think especially from John Morosi, saying, oh, this is the front office feels this is going to be their last this is going to be their last season where they're sellers. And I'm like, well, I guess if you would have made this trade potentially, but not as it stands now. No. I mean, unless all of these prospects that you have in your system and any potential trades you make in the offseason or any potential free agent signings you make in the offseason. And maybe that is, like, maybe you take a long-term view and we just look back and in like 2027 and the Tigers are like a dominant team and they're constantly developing prospects and nobody cares about the Eduardo Rodriguez trade.
Maybe.
But as it stands right now, I live in the present. I can't live in the what if. I think this was, at the very minimum, a gaffe, a oopsie. At the maximum, it was malfeasance. It was an unacceptable level of play from a president of baseball operations who is supposed to, set us in the right path. I get it. Al Avila set you up with a bad situation. Correct. But
do something to change it.
Pound sand. I don't care. Like, every team's got a bad situation. If you're good, you're good. And if you can make the deals, you can make the deals. I look, and I'll talk Michael Lorenzen trade. Anybody who's getting mad about that, I don't know. Grow up. Like, it's like Michael Lorenzen was having a career year, and he still has like a 4 ERA. You're not getting Barry Bonds for Michael Lorenzen. You got a player that apparently this GM likes. And again, if he can evaluate talent, if he knows what kind of players he likes, and if those players are good, it won't matter. Nobody is going to be crying about Michael Lorenzen if the Phillies go to the playoffs and lose, 3 games to the Braves. Nobody's going to care. Which
should probably happen. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, even if they make the playoffs, that is.
And
the second baseman, he could suck. It doesn't matter. Right? It's the same. Like I just said, it's like turning in Market Party 4 to GameStop for $5 as opposed to throwing it in the garbage. The $5 kind of sucks. Like, you can't get much with the $5, but who knows? Something. Like, what if you take that $5 and you invest it, and now you buy a lottery ticket and you're a billionaire or something? I'm not saying this is realistic. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying whatever. Hold on. Let me pull up so that I don't misrepresent the gentleman's name.
Well, I know that. Bring the income.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Lou. I don't care if Hao Yu Lee is the most terrible second baseman in the entire history of the MLB. Right now in high A, he plays second, short, and third, and he's batting .283 with a over 700 OPS and 14 stolen bases. And actually today he just hit a home run.
There's something.
Maybe he sucks. Maybe he can light it up in double or in high A, and then he goes to double A and he can't hit a baseball worth his salt. He's like Michael.
Who knows?
There. But at least with Lorenzen, it's whatever. We take a chance on a 20-year-old Taiwanese kid who could be fine. And with Erod, it's he's probably just going to say, for one, last year I got put in the restricted list, so I didn't get a whole lot of money. This year you were talking about trading me, and apparently you didn't even read my contract, or you didn't inquire of me that I don't.
No, they did not.
West Coast, and you got caught with your pants down, and everybody watching. If I'm Erod, it's clearly this organization doesn't know what they're doing.
Yep.
At least in accordance with Erod, right? He could be wrong about that evaluation. The Tigers call this one mistake, and it could be one mistake out of a bazillion great moves.
That's true.
As it stands, sports is all about recency bias. I mean, you can see it, and you can see it on social media. You can see it on the news, on the news shows, on ESPN. You see, it's all about reason. What have you done for me lately? And what Scott Harris has done for me lately is show that he pooped his pants in the biggest day in the regular season of baseball. Hey there, what you just watched was actually a clip from a larger show that we do every Tuesday night. What are you doing Tuesday night? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button so that you don't miss out on any more of our weekly shows every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there.